Hi, Capricorn. Welcome. Welcome to August. Let's see what comes out for you guys, huh? Five of Coins. This is like a whole mood right here, right? Just kind of like, where is this all going? What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to dedicate my attention? What's the best use of my time? Some of you may have gone through a little bit of some rough stuff in Cancer season. You know, it is 7th house activity for you guys, relationship stuff, partnerships, that kinds of things. And as a result, maybe the energy really shifted. You know, maybe you were feeling, or you came to a place of feeling like, what more can I do? What more can I give? But then at the same time, there was like, yeah, but I should probably just surrender and just relax and just kind of let this other person do whatever they need to do and, you know, not worry about it. But there's still that like, yeah, but I got to worry about it. A lot of back and forth, right? 5 of Coins is not bad as long as you keep an optimistic attitude. If you allow this to get the best of you, you can feel kind of lonely, you can feel like sad and rejected and isolated and all that stuff. But ultimately, usually these kinds of situations are like, you look back, you're like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, right? It would have, maybe it was really hard at the time, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully not that bad, right? See? Because this is exactly what happens. You're at the 5 of Coins, but yeah, you're at the 5 of Coins because you needed the space for the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is the new relationship, the new business venture, the new financial opportunity. It's that new thing that you're kind of feeling guided to do. Look, you guys, if you're not feeling guided to do anything right now, that's okay. The Ace of Wands is just like, all you have to do to bring the Ace of Wands is to really just feel ready, you know? But if you're kind of dwelling in a 5 of Coins state of mind, feeling, like I said, like kind of sad or rejected or whatever, if you're dwelling there, then you're kind of pushing out to the universe that you're not ready. So it's not about necessarily wanting anything. It's more about preparing for something. Okay? Ace of Wands is great. For you guys, all this Leo stuff is happening in the 8th house, right? Sex and passion and deep emotional connection and change and transformation, just like all this kind of good stuff. It can be intense though. 8th house can be intense. Leo's an intense sign, but ultimately it's still like change, you know? So it's to be something to be really excited about. If you still feel like you're kind of like in this hanging weird place, I don't know how much longer you're going to be there. But the more impatient you are, the longer it's going to feel, you know? So you might as well get busy just doing something that you love. You might as well just get busy. All right, because this is the natural laws in operation here, the natural laws of the universe. Whatever you send out, it has to come back to you. So that's why the 5 of Coins is tricky, because it can be really distracting. It can distract you from like, yeah, but I want this thing, but I'm feeling so lonely, or I'm feeling so much like I don't deserve it, or I feel like I don't have anything else to give for the situation. So that's what's going to come back to you, right? So where's your focus going to be? Is it going to be on the scarcity and the lack, or is it going to be on the opportunity that comes from this space? Hopefully it's on the opportunity. Keep your eye on the Ace of Wands, and the Justice card is going to bring that back to you. If you are in any kind of a legal battle, a legal situation, anything going on with court systems or paperwork, contracts, I think that a lot of that stuff will get mediated, or there will be some kind of ruling, most likely in your favor, with the Ace of Wands right next to it. And there's likely to be some feeling of coming to peace. Okay? Now, don't be upset if it doesn't happen like right away or in August. This is just kind of getting the energy working, right? Getting the energy moving in that direction. So it might not manifest for a few more months, but you have to pay attention to what your energy is doing now. Because if you want that justice to come back in a good way, you got to be sending out good vibes too. We need the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is like that draw, like feeling drawn to something. Feeling drawn, feeling compelled to act in a certain way or to move in a certain direction. Nine of Coins. This is a state of pride and dignity and feeling really, really happy with everything just exactly the way it is. And that can be really hard for some of you, especially if there is some illness thing going on, or if there is some financial struggle or some kind of problem, okay? But in those times, gratitude is needed more than ever. It's usually really hard to drudge up because you kind of look around and you're like, wait a second, yeah, but I got this problem and this problem and this problem. You can list off like 20 problems. Yeah, okay, but look at what you do have. That's what's really being called up for me. Okay, again, this is a whole mood. Five of Coins, it is the way you make it. However you make the Five of Coins, that's how it's going to be. Some of you broke up with people, fine, okay, great. Now there's room for the right person. You lost some money, okay, fine, great. Now you can like learn and apply and make even more than you lost in the first place, right? So you have to be real conscious of your consciousness, real conscious of how you're directing things, real conscious of the narrative that you're feeding yourself. You need to be fully aware that you are manifesting all the time. Every thought, every word, every action is setting in motion a new story. So what do you want your story to really be? Okay. It is going to be a heavy reading because it is 8th house activity for you. What can I say? And because of the Saturn-Pluto thing in your sign, you're already changing enough as it is. You're being kind of contracted a little bit to really focus on how you've always done it before and giving an opportunity to do it in a different kind of way to produce a different kind of result. It's a whole new thought patterns, I feel. Whole new thought patterns. See, there's a story of liberation coming through. So some of you, this is really legit, right? And something that you wish to be free from. Actually, how are these? Yeah, these are situated like this in the reading. So the Fool emerging blissfully away from the energy of justice, okay? Justice can be real cold and harsh, but it can also be like your best friend. When it's manifested upright, it means it's a good thing. It means good things are coming. And it is going to release you from certain things. Most likely an actual situation. I don't necessarily see that it's like your thoughts or it's saving you from like anything, but it's like an actual situation. Where whatever situation you have where it's really unfair or really unbalanced or wherever there's, again, that loss or scarcity or whatever, that seems to be where you are emerging from. And there's a quality of acceptance with the Fool as well, just sort of accepting the state clearly, and any energies of denial or whatever are not really doing you any favors. So accepting the Five of Coins, but also accepting the Ace of Wands too. Because sometimes you get opportunities and you shove them away because you're like, yeah, but X, Y, and Z, and I'm not going to get this out of it, and it's not really going to be that, you'll talk yourself out of it because you're a little too attached to whatever went wrong. So attached to the good things. This night might not be the ultimate end-all, be-all. This might not be the whole career or the whole relationship, but it will get you in a step in the right direction. These came out right on top of each other, right? Or this one came out underneath. So these are deeply connected. When you take on that quality of acceptance, and this is also a very Plutonic energy. There is a connection with the Pluto symbol here, but it's like the rise of the phoenix quality, not the crash and burn quality of like the tower, right? This is when already you're here, but you choose to rise, okay? and an opportunity to do so will absolutely present itself. Sometimes this can be something really, I often see it, it's usually something obvious, but it's something unexpected usually. And it can have nothing to do with your money situation. Like it could be something so completely different from whatever this is. This is more about following your heart. This is more about what happens when you follow your attachments. Like if you're attached to making money, right now that path is probably going to make it a little bit hard. And so a passion of like writing, right? Or rock climbing or something, I don't know. It's going to take you in a totally like 90-degree angle direction. I think you are being pulled at a 90-degree angle in terms of your life path. And that can be real disorienting for a cardinal energy because you like to set the goal and just go for it. So when you are asked to be fluid, when you are asked to flow and to be open and to be not so ambitious, that can be hard. Like I can tell that to a Pisces or like a Sagittarius. They're like, okay, great, I'll just like whatever. But a Capricorn, it's a little bit tougher, right? Fixed energy, also same thing, real tough. But to flow, to be totally open, okay? Because what happens after the phoenix rises, right? Or is the story of the snake and the eagle, right? They implode and then the phoenix rises. Well, what does that phoenix do? Well, it moves into Sagittarius and then it starts to soar and it starts to explore and it starts to adventure and to learn. So you're in the rise phase, okay, during Leo season, 8th house. You're in the rising phase. And then as you make your way into the 9th house activity during Virgo season, you're going to have that opportunity to start soaring. All right. So don't say no to opportunities right now. Don't rule anything out simply because you can't see the end of it. Okay. That's not a good strategy right now. Okay, you're absolutely, all right, well, a lot of major arcana coming out for you guys. A lot of guidance, spiritual guidance. We know that this is a card of divinity. It's a card of divine higher self intervention, right? Your higher self is leading you here. And this is your card of intuition. And I think they're actually both moving in the exact same direction. I think, too, there's a quality of knowing that this kind of is a real benefit to you and your life and your learning and your character and just kind of overall your path. Like, you know that this is beneficial, even though it might be really crappy. But it's taking you places. It is propelling you somewhere totally different. And the chariot is here to pick you up and to take you there. So let's just kind of look at for a second how these are coming out. Hold on. I know I'll put the camera down in a second, but just to kind of show you. All right, so this is kind of how they're coming out. So directly underneath the Justice card is the Chariot itself. So when Justice brings back that stuff back around, you're then going to have everything you need to hop in that chariot and move forward. See, I love the balance here with the black and the white. The fact this is upright indicates that your duality, your like pure rationale, strategic, logical mind versus your kind of creative, curvy, whatever kind of mind, working in tandem, working together as a team. Your angel and the devil on your shoulder working together as a team. And when these work at a team, then your chariot can go a lot faster, right? So there is balance here, and there is balance with the scales of justice here. So there's a real calm about everything, even though that urge to like fix the problem is real strong. Because Capricorns don't like to just dwell here. This is not a comfortable state. Because if you're not moving to correct something, then you're like, well, then what are we even doing? We just want to sit here and just be happy, like with this crappy thing. Why would I ever want to do that? Well, you want to do that because you're making space. I don't recommend that this is, I don't necessarily see that this is something fixable. I don't necessarily see that it's reversible. Like you can't do a Command Z or Control Z like you can on your keyboard and like undo. Like you can't do that. So you have to just accept it. And that might have been kind of shoved in your face a little bit during the eclipse season of like, well, this is the situation and you just kind of got to work around it, whatever. And I think on so many levels, your intuition is screaming at you to like wait for this Ace of Wands. It's not something you go and create, which is so completely backwards from our cultural narrative. Like, I get it. We're always taught, like, if something's wrong, you gotta, apply yourself and do this and do that. But the aces, all of the 4 aces, they're like divinely given to us. It's the higher intelligence at work, especially when the Chariot and the Justice cards come out. Like, the universal laws are at play. So there's this knowing. Okay, there's this deep thing kind of roaring inside of you. To have Leo in the 8th house, I mean, that's a very like strong placement. And so I know that you can feel that lion inside of you, like ready to pounce on something. But the thing about a lion or a cat is they know when to pounce and they know when to not pounce. And I think there's not a lot of action here, all right? It's just very relaxed, It is, it's just very relaxed, even here. Just sit poised, because when the bait comes, then you can pounce on it. And you'll know. There's not going to be a question. If you're sitting there like, yeah, but this thing came in, I don't know. And if you're doing that runaround dialogue in your mind, that means it's not the time. Okay. What else here? What else for Capricorn? Oh, you guys. Okay, so I'm not really seeing anybody else in the reading. However, we do have a Cancer card, a Libra card. Sometimes the Fool can be connected with Aries. I also see Scorpio with the High Priestess, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces with the High Priestess, so maybe a water sign. So we're kind of giving a little bit of water, a little bit of Libra energy coming through, and definitely you here. So like I always say, she's the one that knows how to turn things to gold. She knows how to plant the seeds, which what you're doing now, right? Mentally and emotionally, you're planting seeds for good things. You know how to create that environment, water, soil, sun, but you also know that if the environment is proper, then life just takes over, right? That seed, you can have faith, is going to sprout. Like, it. So this is a time of having faith. This is a time of having faith in the process of life unfolding. And your higher self has the reins here, so you shouldn't feel afraid to kind of let go a little bit. You can dedicate your time and your energy now to allowing that internal 8th house transformation happen, right? You could just allow it to happen. It's a real powerhouse house, though. There's a strong sexual component coming through here. If you're feeling really intensely attracted to somebody, the only recommendation that I would have is to not get too emotionally invested prematurely. If you want to have sex with them, Ace of Wands is a great card for sexual activity. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Enjoy it. Sex can change you. Sex teaches you so much about who you are. It can trigger you in certain ways. So, enjoy it. But if this is not someone that you're in a full-time relationship with, just let it be what it needs to be. Okay, don't put yourself in any emotionally traumatizing situations. You don't need to be dealing with that. Another card of Cancer. Also Pisces, Scorpio as well. A lot of water. Some of you may be dealing with a water sign. They're definitely looking at you. There's also a component here for you, which is real homey. A lot of homey energy. Some of you may be wanting to stay in. It's kind of opposite of what Leo season kind of wants us to do, go out and be glitzy and glamorous and all that. But there's a real domestic quality to Leo too, and I think you're tapping into the domestic quality a little bit more than maybe some of the other signs. You're wanting to connect with the places where you feel safe, the places where you feel you can be truly authentically you. Okay, and I think that's great. Now, I'm going to clarify this individual. I do think this is also someone else, someone that's looking at you. Maybe they're looking at you for guidance. Maybe they're looking at you because they're super interested in you. The problem is the feminine and feminine energy. Okay, and two women, like, fine, that's not what I mean. It's the energy, the feminine component, both receptive. So when two people are receptive, it can make communication a little bit more challenging because each person is kind of expecting or wanting the other person to like reach out first, or to meet them in the middle, or to apologize first, or whatever it is. And that can be a really difficult dynamic. Same thing with two masculine energies. At least masculine energy, if there were two kings coming out, they would be more aggressive, like they could actually hash it out. But this is a little bit too taken aback. So if there's a problem in a current connection that you have, whether it's a romantic or business partnership, either way doesn't matter, or friendship, and that other person really is not wanting to like talk like they do, like I'm telling you, first and foremost, they absolutely do. They're just probably not going to be the first one to initiate contact. If you want to have a conversation, you might as well just go for it and open the door. They might be still feeling the effects from Cancer season too, so they might be real reserved. They might be having a little bit of a Cancer season hangover, and the Mercury retrograde thing was maybe a little rough on them. So it might take a little coaxing to get them to come out of their shell. They just need to feel safe, right? But if you can create a safe environment for them to be authentically them, then it's fine. But if you don't want to do that, you don't think it's your place, that's fine too. You can do whatever you want, obviously. But just know that communication might be a little bit challenging with that, and it'll work itself out eventually. So let's go ahead. I have a new setup so you can see the cards much better. So this doesn't have that terrible skew that it had last month. And we'll pull out more cards. All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, Capricorn. So let's go ahead and pull out two more cards from a different tarot deck. See what else comes out. Ooh, Knight of Cups. To have both Venus and Mars and the Sun in Leo, which is like fifth house, right? Ruler of the natural fifth house. And it's such a house of, or a sign rather, of romance. There really, really could be a lot of romance on the table. So that obviously is like definitely on the table with the Knight of Cups coming in. Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, something really heartfelt, something really heart connected, and to have an Ace of Coins as well, Ace of Wands, excuse me. Additionally, there's a very strong possibility that a door could open for you romantically or sexually. Or in terms of like your creativity as well. I often see a Knight of Cups as being someone who really just follows their heart. They just really like, this is what my heart wants, and they kind of romanticize almost everything, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's kind of like one of those people where they're just so incredibly optimistic about things. You're like, man, I really wish that I could just be so like always looking at the bright side of everything and always seeing the possibility in everything. So there could be a part of that comes out in you, okay? Being like romanticizing life a lot. Eight of Swords will clarify this for sure. The blindfold here and the kind of the bondage of the ropes, it's always a concern because we often feel very, very trapped. So here in and of itself is a dichotomy, right? We have the trapped nature and the feeling of lack and scarcity alongside all these really beautiful energies of growth and change and, just feeling ready to invite new things into your life. Well, some Capricorns, and you may be dealing with a Capricorn who's like this, they're going to get stuck here. They're going to get stuck in this whole narrative of like, no, I have to do something. I have to fix it. I have to go after it. I have to make it happen. I have to this. I have to that. And that could just completely skew the message of this entire reading if the person has that mindset, okay? Now, it's going to be very easy for them to just switch gears, right? Capricorn, if you find yourself here, all you have to do is consciously switch gears and tap into opportunity. Tap into the opportunity that comes from the space that this stuff is created. So even if it's something really simple, like making an effort to go to that yoga class tonight, right? Making that effort to finally do that wine and painting thing, or like, just something really, like, I'm feeling it's a very oddball kind of thing, actually. Like I said, it's a 90-degree turn from what you normally do. So don't shy away just because it's different. I think that's guiding you somewhere. It's a stepping stone to something else. So don't just write it off as something silly, okay? It's not. It's definitely not silly. And it could be an opening door for a whole new life, because we know Saturn, Pluto, your sign, you're not going to be able to sustain the old ways anymore. Nobody is. Okay, so if this is in terms of your career as well, like, you're going to probably start making money doing a different kind of thing, or changing industry, or incorporating a whole new skill set into your path, like, or introducing a whole new product line or something. Like, that's very exciting. Okay, very exciting. And there's money on the table for that too. So from my Untethered Soul deck, when your stuff gets hit, let go right then, because it will be harder later. So when it's talking about your stuff, when your stuff gets hit, it means your ego. It means your barriers that you, or the boundaries or the walls that you have that have been built up over the course of our lives, trying to keep out the painful stuff. Right? So when stuff gets hit, when you get offended, when you get angry, when you get jealous, when you get frustrated, sit with that emotion, breathe, always breathe, okay, please. Take your blindfold off and just like look around for a second and be like, okay, I'm feeling not so great. I'm feeling a little bit frustrated. I'm feeling pretty sad. I'm feeling pretty rejected. And say that's just an emotion and it's just triggering me. But it's not real. That's the whole thing about swords, right? Is they're not real. They're illusions. They are mental illusions that we concoct ourselves. They are assumptions and negative beliefs and things that we really don't need to hang on to. So this is probably what is going to be hitting you. Feeling of lack of control, that can also trigger some people too. So when your stuff gets hit, let go right then, because it will be harder later, right? So let go of the energy, release the energy. You can feel the emotion and you can let it go. Last card for the oracles. Soulmates. Oh, this one came out, I think, for Libra as well. So what did I say about the Libra energy? You're going to be dealing with a Libra. Now, the soulmates could really go either way. Clearly, in a romantic setting, there is a soulmate quality coming through. Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups. This could be each of you guiding your equal chariot, right, together. I'm feeling actually more, like soulmates is a great card to get. It doesn't necessarily have to mean your soulmate is especially positive either. You could have a really challenging soulmate who is really pushing your stuff, really pushing those buttons, but it is still a soulmate nonetheless. Another quality here that I feel more than the soulmates is the support, right? The way that this penguin is like supporting the other one. And there may be someone in your life that really wants to support you too while you are making this 90-degree turn. It is recommended to let them, right? To let them be there for you clearly they've got your back, literally, like they're literally behind you. They've got your back. This could be a mom, it could be a daughter, it could be a friend. I feel high feminine energy from a queen, so likely a female, but it doesn't have to be, okay? It can also be your significant other if it's a man, so that's fine. But yeah, so it's a quality of someone having your back, so that's excellent. Okay, so now we're going to pull the clarifier. So these are going to be the cards that we'll talk about in the comprehensive reading. We're going to talk for probably another 20 to 25 minutes. The link will be in the description box down below, but I'll just pull them so you can see them, what we're going to go over. So let's focus on this 5 of coins now. Sometimes in the comprehensive, the story does take an interesting turn, so just FYI on that. Ooh, a 10 of coins down to a 5. I wonder why. Let's pull a couple more. Why is that? Okay. Okay. Maybe some of you are feeling, I think there's a feeling of distrust. Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands comes from the heart space, not from the mind. Quiet the mind, super important. Great, excellent. Love it for especially people here for work and money. We love the 3 of coins for collaboration and creativity. It goes real well with the Ace of Wands. Patience with justice, patience. One thing that's really hard for Capricorn is to give up. Ooh, justice, clarify justice. Okay, one more for that then. One thing that's hard is for Capricorn to give up control on the things that they really don't have control over. Another Libra card. Okay, we're getting tons of Libran energy. And you don't have to be dealing with a Libra, but there's an aspect of fairness, communication, empathy, compassion, grace, even a quality of aesthetic, right? Being aesthetically pleasing as you go about your life. Lots of balanced scales here, lots of them. Excellent. Oh, the Fool and the World. So the change is happening. 8th house is doing what it's supposed to do. I think there's someone that really doesn't want to see you succeed. That's such a Capricorn thing. It's so common for Capricorns to attract people who like really project their jealousy onto them. Really common for Capricorns to have people in their lives that like try to ride their coattails, try to take advantage of them. A little fire energy coming through. Oh, okay, we'll talk about that. One more for the Queen of Coins. Excuse me, the Queen of Cups, I mean. Star. A couple of Aquarius cards. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Knight of Cups. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, so the partnership story is developing a little bit more in terms of, like, we've got 3 people here. Clearly there's 3 people at play. They don't have to be like a romantic third-party situation, okay? But I think this is really weeding out the negative people in kind of a roundabout kind of way. Like everyone is just exposing themselves and they just clearly don't know what they're doing. So the more out of your ego you can be and know how to do this, like when your stuff gets hit, let go right then. Because the more in control of your ego you are, and the less likely you are to allow it to control your actions and your words, the more power you have when dealing with clearly a frustrating situation. Clearly, Five of Coins, Five of Wands. Okay, so there's drama, there's stress, there's worry, there's anxiety. Okay, so I get it. So we'll talk about all of that in the comprehensive reading if you wish to join. If not, I wish you absolutely nothing but the best for Leo season. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys next month. Have a good one. Bye-bye.